That is why the Federation is perceived as antagonistic to the needs and interests of humans. It's just a mess of perspectives again, and the inability of both parties to understand each other. This is cyclical. It has happened countless times before. It is recorded in virtually all ancient cultures whose writings survive to this day. They talk about 25,000-year cycles, Mayan calendar, Kali Yuga, whatever. No, it does not happen every few fixed years, but every time the number of awakened ones exceeds a limit. And that is happening today. This is also reflected in the Old Testament, with the stories of the flood, of the Tower of Babel, among others. Always separating humans, always erasing what was before. That is the famous planetary reset, about which some are already talking without knowing what it is. The rapture too, people leaving en masse. But it is reflected as they leave with everything and with their body. And although this does happen, it is impossible for it to be always like that at the mass level, which causes the need to create mass exits, because the awakened ones and people refuse to cooperate with the matrix from the perspective of within it, although from the outside, yes, they agree. Those mass departures are those negative events, like Agenda 2130, world wars, natural disasters. That is why they will always attack the places that are more peaceful, with a high cultural level. For example, the invasion of immigrants to Europe. This has been seen before. The Earth is for something, to create a series of contextual frameworks in which consciousness, souls, can have a specific class of experiences. But to achieve that, you must maintain the illusion that the Earth is all there is. You must maintain the illusion of what we call the 3D matrix. But if everything is too perfectly controlled by them, people will start to rebel. So, to contain these small rebellions of consciousness, the controllers implant methods of controlled opposition. Martin Luther, New Age, feminism, Ashtar. And that works for a while.
Boy, that
But
don't look like
later,
a
that controlled
freaking
opposition
cat face.
grows to such a degree that it becomes a problem for them, because it destabilizes the entire system, the entire matrix. And it reaches a point where neither the matrix, nor the society, nor the awakened humans can continue to function, and they must collapse the whole system and create a new one. And they have done it many times before. 6 times they have destroyed the Earth civilization and the 3D matrix before. The awakened ones think they are awake, when they are only awake at the next step of control. They simply cannot see beyond the accepted parameters that they are part of the controlled opposition, because they are still in the matrix too, only subscribed to their New Ages, their socially accepted ufologies, alternative history, and other things totally within the same control system. And it is impossible for them to see outside said control system. That is why they do not validate us, and they will never validate us, in favor of absurd channelings that are socially accepted. Therefore, matrix, system of controlled opposition. Although it contradicts its own accepted science, since there is neither proof nor credibility in anything channeled. Because everything is matrix manipulation, controlled opposition. They think they are awake, and they are not. They only destabilize the system to the degree that the controllers are left with no choice but to destroy the matrix and build a new one with new ideas and parameters. Because at the end of the day, this is not, I repeat, it is not a planet of free will as it is painted. Only free will from the cosmological point of view, because that is
maybe we might have
an
some cloudcraft
escapable
down
truth.
here.
But at the cosmos level, on Earth, everything is agitated. They must maintain an illusion of reality of how things should be, or precisely because of cosmological free will, that matrix will tend to inexorably collapse as it is now. So they must lead people to believe a series of things, laws and ideas, and that is already collapsing in favor of their systems of controlled opposition. This is where you have that idea that if there is more than 51% awakened humans, a reaction is created where everything changes in their favor. Yes.
That's right over my house.
But in favor of what? In favor of
probably why
false awakening.
all my shit's getting damaged
in favor
tonight.
of another matrix belief system, such as New Age, which is not real either, which is what creates a disparity or a division within the matrix between the awakened on the one hand and the sleeping matrix ones on the other. Destabilizing the system, destabilizing the entire matrix. So they have no choice but to implement extreme control measures while putting in place everything necessary to throw off, destroy, reset the matrix. That is what you see today. And Trump, QAnon, and all of that
my orientation to the ground south.
Struggle for control at superficial levels of the deep state that serves as another method of controlled opposition while they finish putting their pieces in order. They
What's
already
odd
have
is that
the
if
new
you notice
matrix
the
level.
red, that's heat.
Ready cities in China, for example, for millions.
So how in the
They
world
are
can the
new,
moon be the
gigantic,
hottest thing?
and high-tech. They are complete, and there are many. I do not want to say how many, but many. And they are not the only ones. They are completely empty. They only have Chinese army guards there, ready for its inhabitants, who will be completely under the control of the matrix, with a completely transhumanistic world.
That's my house.
It will not be only for the Chinese
right
there,
above it.
but it is for the people that the cabal, the controllers, have chosen to continue populating the earth, sample inhabitants from all over the world. This means that necessarily millions will die, and that's what the vaccine is for. That's the danger here. Ask Robert. Thank you, Yaski. Have you seen those civilizations disappear? Previous ones? Yes, I have seen.
See that red shining off it? That means it's
Atlantis, Lemuria. They are only the most recent ones, but there have been others, at least 6 before this version.
Strange time it is to be alive, boy. Strange time indeed.
Souls, as long as they maintain the illusion.
That thing sure does look like some kind of craft.
As it is happening right now, they must reset everything, because their game loses its meaning.
I can tell you what it isn't.
Awakening
Cloud.
people are the disorder for them, thanks to which they have to reset
It's
everything.
weird how I'm having
So,
these feline
what role do we
faces.
have here? And you? What role do
I'm
you
looking at
have
BT
then, knowing that it
races,
works like
and they
this,
got these
and
races
that we
called
only
the
contribute to
UMA.
the stress,
I think
after
they're
which
called the
they will
UMA
have
and
to
the UMA.
reset
They're
again?
like a feline race, they
It
say.
depends on the point of view. We are part of the cause for which the matrix must collapse on one
Hey, they're
side.
everywhere. I
On
don't
the
know.
other hand, we remove
Alright.
people who
I
do
guess that's
not
enough.
want to participate in the game. And there are
I already done
already
damage to
so
one of my
many
videos tonight.
that
Kind of
in
sucks.
itself it is equivalent to a
You
mass
can't win them all.
death. But it is only the exit, seeing everything from above.
What the hell
And
is
the
this
vaccines, that is the mass exit. I would like to recover my memory that I had before in 5D to understand all this better. From the position of before
interesting.
incarnating there, especially if it is only from 5D immersion, you do not have all the answers. Urma, a feline dominant species, one of many uncountable feline species. Just as the dominant Alpha Dracos is the dominant reptile or reptilian race, the Urma is the dominant feline race. Place of origin, the star Vega, planets Lyra and Avalon. But the same as the Alpha Dracos, they have colonies all over the galaxy, especially in this quadrant. Note that they come from the same planets as the Lyrians. They coexisted and cooperated among themselves. They are friendly to each other. Peaceful symbiosis with a large colony on Sirius. They have colonies on thousands of planets, but the colony on Sirius is especially large, second only to Vega. Alpha predators. Before, they were very invasive. Today, they are pacific and spiritual. They are members of the Federation of United Planets, very militarized and exaggerated in everything. Hyperbolized cats. Everything is gold. Everything is magnificent. Everything is exaggerated ornamentation as the music of Richard Wagner itself. All metal. Trumpets. Everything with them is epic. They are lions or tigers on 2 feet, the same exact size. Short legs, long spine, tails with a ball of hair at the end sometimes. They dress in many ways and have an affinity for fashion. Everything ultra ornamented. The males use high-tech armor, but also ceremonial, as the Romans, all gold with long red capes. The language is mainly telepathic, but they talk, even though they do not pronounce well. They purr a lot. They are very loving with other species and allow themselves to be hugged. They are carnivorous, but make synthetic meat. They no longer hunt, just as the Alpha Dracos, with whom they have good communication. Huge homes, stylized very much as those of the Romans, as a reference. Everything is cat for them. Statues, sphinxes, paintings, carved in wood and metals. Many internal pillars in enormous halls with torches on the walls. Political system, patriarchal, matriarchal, holographic. Andromedan model like us. Craft shape, difficult to explain. It is like a long and solid U. Highly polished, metallic. Few exits, only at the back for the engines. Total warp capacity, very interstellar. They have vast quantities of star seeds on Earth. In itself, the small and large cats and the domesticated ones are their star seeds, or so they tell us. They are very united and help respect other feline races. They are progressive with high spirituality, extremely loving and empathic. Despite this, fierce warriors, so fierce that even the alpha dracos fear them. And how is their spirituality? How does it differ from yours? Very much in accordance with ours. The relation with them is excellent. Present near here is a cat ship, leader of the Earth expedition, Rur of Avalon. So, all the races see the spirituality in a similar way. Here on Earth, there are so many differences. There are alchemy schools, meditation schools, metaphysics schools, devotional ways, and so on. Yes, we all see it in a similar manner, only with a taste specific to each one. On Earth, they differ a lot because they are all basically false. Spirituality itself, in the end, gets to be perceived in the same way, and that in itself